talent, that when they receive a paper from us, a document from us to say that this is a course of study that they undertook, that it is recognized and that it's mobile, that the recognition of the certificate is mobile, meaning that they can take it anywhere and it will be recognized. And that's something that we are extremely, extremely proud of.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Can the Honorable Minister say when was the Institute of Creative Arts accredited?
Minister?
Yes. So we passed all of our assessments at the end of last year, and the certificate was issued earlier this year.
And displayed here.
You have it with me?
Didn't you raise it?
I brought it
In
during,
your presentation.
I did it during my
Yes,
presentation.
yes,
That's
yes.
correct.
Yes.
In fact, it was presented by Dr. Hudson, who was here with the Honorable Member, Minister Priyo, just a few minutes ago here.
Honorable Member, any other questions? I now put a question that is sum stated for program 442, culture, current expenditure. I now put a question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Program 443, youth, on pages 218 and 19. And I propose a question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Six two 6231. I know that there's an increase in fuels and lubricants. Was there a new vehicle added to the fleet of vehicles that the ministry already have?
Minister?
Yeah, so the answer to the question is that no, there hasn't been any new vehicle for this program head, but it is the increased cost for increased activities.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Bess?
62. Sorry. 6.
Can I put now?
Volume 2. No, Mrs. Speaker, just oh. I take off the spectacle. Volume 2. I note that the indicators, number of public and private NGOs or community partnership, I note that there is an increase by 6 under this heading. Can the Honorable Minister say what are the 6 new NGOs that will be added here?
Right, so that's our target. Our target is to hit 6 new ones. The previous year we had 65, 66, but our target is to increase the number of partnerships that we have. So I'm unable to say with specificity enough for me to state in this house what are the ones that we're targeting, but our target is to increase it to 72.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member Jones.
Thank you. Line item 6321, subsidies to local organization. Well, I'll throw both of them. Two bodies here. National Youth Commission. We've seen an allocation of 400, revised at zero, and budgeted 2025 400. As well, there is the West End Committee, allocated 60, revised zero, and request for 60 again. And two part of the second question. What is this body, the West End Committee?
Honorable Minister.
I'm advised that it's a regular NGO that does training with young people. And on the first question that you asked, there has been no request for the sum, and so that's why there wasn't any given.
And I assume it's the same thing for the National Youth Commission. And similar to, what is this body? No, man, this Gail on. Listen, Gail.
Honorable Minister.
Yeah, so that was once a body that did receive, I'm advised, did receive some kind of contribution before. I'm unable to advise the House whether they are still extant.
Noted. And Commentary noted to a former Minister of Sports, Dr. Anthony, because in my time as well, there were several of these bodies that just
Pop in and pop out.
correct. So perhaps if there was a process that we could just remove them if necessary, as opposed to having them up here.
I'll be quite frank with you when it comes to, the smaller kind of groupings. I don't pay too much
Very good.
attention to that part of it. So I can't say that I scrutinize to scrub the list that is submitted. But I agree with you.
Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Yes, I note under the impacts, existence of a new and more responsive policy for youth development. Can the Honorable Minister say,
What's this?
it's not under youth? Under youth. No, we are looking at volume 2, the indicators.
Go ahead, Honorable Member. Don't get
Volume 2,
distracted.
youth.
Yeah,
Right.
which one of them? Which one of the
I
indicators?
look at the impact. You got the impact listed there. Existence of a new and more responsive policy for youth development. Right? And so I'm asking, where is the new youth policy?
So there is already existing a youth policy,
Mhm.
which will have to be revised. There is no current commitment for a revision of the policy because it's now coming to its expiry date. But this is really not an indicator. This is just the impact. So it's not something that I think that uh, where we've made a commitment to get done.
Okay. Indicator 3 and 4. Number of youths 14 to 35 years old trained by the DOY and the percentage of youth gaining employment after being trained. Question. After training, first let me ask about the training. When these youths are trained in the program, is there any aspect of the training program that teaches the youth about safety on the workplace, occupational safety?
Yes.
Honorable Minister.
So there are a variety of programs or a number of programs that fall into the overall training program, of which you have a compilation of these numbers or constitute the summation of these numbers here. So you have coding, robotics, um, you have, you have PYARG, you have VAX, and I want to stop here and pause just to speak about those two before we continue. The PYARG program, which was an extremely successful program for young people, which is done in collaboration with the Duke of Edinburgh. It's an international program, internationally certified. It started under Minister Gale and then continued under Minister Frank. And then the APNU government just let it die in 2017. And we resuscitated it in 2022. Now, I want the House to know not just the popularity and the effectiveness. I want to get a sheer sense of the numbers so that we're clear about how effective this program is. And if the honorable member wants to know about the details of some of these or what goes into the program, I can say that, because you have life skills and health and safety, expedition, number of those kind of things. Anyway, for last year alone, Mr. Speaker, we trained on the PYRG 5,028 young people, and in total, since its revival in 2022, it was 13,000 young people all across this country who had, and what you have to appreciate when it comes to getting to young people is that you have to be able to get to them by different means, not necessarily directly by saying, go and learn your book or go and pick up your go and study. You have to be able to get to them by different means. And sometimes they might be interested in different areas. And sometimes they want to explore also different types of activities, most of them extracurricular, but they also, or what PYARG does, it allows them to do that in a safe environment, supervised by our coaches, our trainers, which we have trained a lot of them in the last 2 years or so. So that's how popular. And I also want to mention this VAX program. This is a program that when I came into the ministry, it was called VSP. Minister Frank, you might remember. It was called the Volunteer Support Platform. And really and truly, they had about 11 persons who would come and do stints at the ministry and get an experience about learning public service work, etc. And they would pay them stipends under that program, Volunteer Support Platform. This new program, which is the Volunteer Apprenticeship Community Support Program, in just in 2024 alone, 2,426 young people participated in that program. 2,426 young people participated in that program. And let me tell you what we also did. As part of the YESD program, which we reformed, and I know that she was critical, the honorable member was critical about having a more concise and a more concise program for vocational training. This program that we have on YESD, where you can learn welding, plumbing, electrical installation, carpentry, and masonry, those 5 areas, which have now, since last year, or the year before, we were able to secure the CTVET level 1, so it's now registered as a regional accredited body. So when they receive their certificate, it's no longer a situation where they just get a paper that's valueless. It is a, a an accredited certificate that they get. We take those same students and we put them into this volunteer apprenticeship community support program. And we put them to do on the weekends as additional work, and we pay them as well, stipends, while they are doing their work, to go and help to build and rehab community grounds so that they could get the theory as well as the practical supervised by the trainers and the instructors from the institution. So, and we did 84 projects, 84 projects just last year alone. So this is a very useful way. Small projects for them because they're now learning, but that's where they have to cut their teeth, get their hands wet. So they build walkways, they build fence, they build, small things, but what they're doing at the same time, not only catching their hand, getting the experience, but they're providing a value to the community anywhere that they go. So it's a very important program. So I just wanted to give the honorable member an idea of what some of the programs are, but we also did construction project management, we did literacy and numeracy, so actually helping with young people to improve their literacy skills and their numeracy skills, and then we did the robotics and coding.
Hi.
Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Chair. One day for getting back this time. The minister's taking long to give direct answers. That's why I asked a direct question. However, as the minister spoke of all these programs, of which I'm very much well aware of, I asked the question specifically about health and safety, occupational health and safety for the workplace. And I also hope that these programs that are being done is taken into consideration. The problem we have with the uses of the youths on the road with the accidents and all these things, because if you're running these programs, I believe they should cover these social impact, these things that are affecting us in society, that the program should carry some aspect of life skills to help these people. Moving along with the question I had.
So you're making a statement that we're going to ask the minister if it does include aspects of life skills.
I answered that, Mr. Speaker. I answered that. So, and I also want to say, and this is something significant. So as part of that YEST program, we have financial literacy as as one of the subjects that we teach in that program. Financial literacy. And I give that class one of the lectures myself. I go in and I dedicate some time and I give lectures in that class to those young people, sharing my advice on financial literacy.
Mr. Chair, a follow-up question. The minister mentioned...
Member, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Chair, thank you. The honorable minister mentioned that there were several coaches that were trained over the past 2 years. Could the minister indicate how much of these coaches are now licensed, whether it's football, basketball, cricket, etc.? Of the coaches that you trained over the last 2 years are now certified, licensed coaches in those sport disciplines.
So what I'm happy to share with the honorable member is that all of our coaches who are working at the National Sports Commission, they're certified. Mm-hmm. All of them are certified. But what is also being done in connection with the sports associations, because they, through their bodies, they get free courses where they can actually do the training, where they can be licensed. That's where we're using that as a vehicle to expand the number of coaches. But as you mentioned that, we were able to commission and we completed, and it's going to start their distribution this year, a very novel and innovative way in which we can get coaching into the hinterland. So we've now put all of the coaching programs for the 12 disciplines as for the National Sports Academy. We've put them all now on video, on flashes, and that they can be downloaded on the internet. So that when, for the folks who are in the hinterland, where they don't have access to coaches, they now have access to the material, so that when we can designate individuals, we can go and train them, and then they can implement the coaching program right there. So it's a great way now. And this happened from all of the community outreaches that we had in the hinterland. You've had a number of requests saying, we want support to help with our coaching opportunities. But obviously we can't put coaches in the 247, 248 villages and send them there permanently. So now we're going to have, let in the villages, the persons choose them, choose the persons who want to become coaches, and then we go and upskill them with these virtual training programs.
Honorable Member, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One follow-up. So, Minister, exactly how many of the coaches that were trained over the past 2 years are licensed and certified?
I don't have the figure in front of me, but I can try to get that figure.
All right, so could you indicate if whether or not any of them have been certified, say, by FIFA? Anyone? Yes, very important. Very important.
I'm unable to say, and I don't want to mislead you. So
Okay.
that's something I can verify.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 443 youth current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, sum stated now stands part of the estimates. And I now propose the question that the sum stated for program 444 sport, pages 220 and 221, propose the question that the sum stated herein now stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Former Chair.
Let me welcome former Member of Parliament, Stephen Inval, and the others of the team.
I would like to go to volume 2 for the indicators, and indicator number 6, number of community sporting grounds upgraded. I know last year there was a target set for 251 grounds, and I see that the minister is saying that 471 grounds were upgraded, which is added 220 to what you target. Could the Honorable Minister say, as per regions, how many grounds were upgraded in the different regions?
Minister?
Okay. So for region 1, 91, region 2, 37, region 3, 42, region 4, 87, region 5, 8, region 6, 77,
Region 5?
region 7, 33,
Me here, I
region 8, 26, region 9, 57, and region 10, 13, and this is 447.
know.
471. And just so that the honorable member understands too, that included in this figure as well as last year, that we did out of our ground enhancement program, we gave,
Just not Anna.
we were able to support the ground enhancement for 247 community grounds in the hinterland. We did 100 the year before. We did 246 last year. And this year, we're going to be doing about 254 at the next NTC conference, because now the number has expanded, according to my Honorable Pauline Sukai.
Comrade Chair,
Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
I couldn't hear the responses given by the minister after Region 4 because of the banging on the desk. I would like you to call for Region 5, the grounds as per region, because I didn't get to hear the answer.
8.
Uh-huh. This for 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Honorable members, I now, Honorable
No,
Member, Ms. Ferguson.
Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The very line item, sir. I heard the honorable member.
It's not a line item.
Okay, from the indicators. The honorable member stated that I think it's about 80 grounds in Region 4.
87.
Good, 87 grounds. Can you say within that number whether the Bel Air ground is included in that 87?
Yes.
Well, the Bel Air, no, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I need to make it clear here because we have several Bel Air areas. So I'm speaking about Bel Air that runs I think it's Epping Avenue.
Epping Avenue.
That runs parallel to Duncan Street. So we have that ground there. So whether that ground is included in the 87.
Yeah, so the project is being done amongst, with support from the Ministry of Public Works. So that is one of the grounds that is being done too. Now mentor, Royston King. Royston King. But that's not your
Honorable
constituency, so what are
members,
you
I
worried
now put a
about? You're supposed to be
question that the
happy.
sum
You're supposed to say
stated
congratulations.
For program
You're doing.
444,
You
sport,
can't say that it's
current
not being
expenditure
done.
stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Public Works.
Those against say no. Ayes have it, some stated now stands part of the estimates. Please turn to page 512, and I propose the question that the sum stated for program 441, policy development administration and administration, capital expenditure. I propose a question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. Member Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair.
Annette, you ever hear about love of my life?
The code 120.
Only I have that ability.
1205700 is the payment of retention. Can the Honorable Minister say for which project or building will this money be paid for?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Honorable Member. So we did an extension to our headquarters, the main building. The project is completed. We made the investment because of the increased workload that we have and the required space that's needed. So, for example, we now have some additional persons in the technical services unit headed by Sherwin Moore behind me. And there is, so that sum caters for the retention payment for that.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 441, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Program 442, culture, Capital expenditure. I propose the question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimate. Member Flubes.
Thank you, Comma Chair. Project code 1205700 buildings. I see provision for art gallery, museum, and other facilities. So can the Honorable Minister disaggregate the sum for these projects?
Yeah, we've set
Honourable
aside
Minister.
$500 million each, but essentially we have the government of Guyana, the President Irfan Ali led People's Progressive Party government of Guyana, has made a decision that we want to have a new museum and art gallery, which is something that is very important for the country. And I think it's something that is, when the design is concluded, and just for clarity, we went out to tender last year for the design. Those designs are being presented right now to us. There's a cabinet subcommittee that is going to assess it, and then we're going to go out to procurement when that's completed. But those are the sums that we have put aside for its construction. But I'm extremely pleased. It's something that is very important now that we are moving into a different tier of development, which is for the display, the permanent display of our culture as well as our heritage, and I use that distinctly. We have three museums. We have that are in three different locations. We have the Museum of African Heritage, we have the National Museum, and the Walter Roth Museum. And they all carry different pieces of our history, but not connected. And we also have in our art gallery and our national art collection some extremely important and beautiful and invaluable pieces of artwork that people don't get to see on a permanent basis. Because when we have our exhibition, and just to tell the House, we've had 15 exhibitions at our at Castellani, our national art gallery, last year alone. Now, for those 2 weeks when we have the exhibition, you have those pieces being displayed by other persons. But those that form the inventory of our national art collection, we don't get to see that on a daily basis. So when people come into the country, or the young people in the country, or anybody here who's interested and they want to go and see the quality of the art that we have here, which is valued at millions and millions of dollars, not Guyana dollars, millions and millions of US dollars. We want to be able to show that to the world, and a very beautiful building is also important for that display.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Member Flubes.
Thank you, Comma Chair. I see provision for recording studios. Where will these studios be constructed?
Minister.
Yeah, so as you know, Comrade Speaker, we've completed the construction of the first studio, which we went out to tender for in 2020, the end of 2022. The building is completed. Some of the equipment is already installed. We had actually a producer recently come to test it from the US, who works with international artists. Very famous. I don't want to say it here, obviously, because of they were doing different kinds of work with us. So, but they came here to test it, and we are now moving into building 3 more, because it's something that we believe that is very important for the development of the environment for to advance talent, and especially the singing talent area. So we're gonna have one in, that one was built in Region 6. So now we're gonna have one in Region 10, we're gonna have one in Region 3 and Region 2. This area here of singing, where we can have the potential, and we're right now, some of our artists they have some of the highest trending songs in the Caribbean. There's some chutney songs on YouTube that have 25 million views. 25 million views, which and it's moving into other areas in the world, especially our diaspora, and that's one of the reasons why they're getting a lot of opportunities for overseas work. So that environment where we're investing in the bottom house type style of studio. You want to sing something, you have a talent, you can experiment with that. But then to get it up to a higher level, and this isn't even the highest level, because the highest level can go as much as $1 million US for the equipment, can go all the way up to as high as that. But it takes it up to a much higher level where the quality is improved, so that when you are exporting it, when it's being heard in different parts of the world, that there's no distinct type of quality.
Member Flubes?
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Where in Linden will this studio be constructed?
I'll try to get the address for the honorable member, and when I do, I'll tell her.
Was any contract signed for any of the recording studios as yet?
No, we went out to tender already, and we've signed contracts for 2 and 3. I'm advised, but we haven't issued commencement as yet.
2 and 3?
Region 2 and 3.
Well, I went on the MPTAB website, and I noticed that on the 27th of December, 2024, Sovereignty Investment got a contract for the construction of the digital recording studio in Region 10 to $32,676,160. So I don't know if MPTAB website is wrong, so Honorable Minister.
Was the question, is the website wrong?
MPTAB website.
Is it wrong, Minister?
So I'm not sure if the information there is wrong.
I'm advised that all 3 have been signed.
The information is not
So-
wrong,
So
all
the-
3 signed.
The Region 10 one was only signed in January.
Honorable Minister, I would love to hear you out more, but your 1 hour is up.
Thank you very
So
much.
I have no recourse but to put the question that for program
Gracious Speaker.
442
Gracious
Capital.
Speaker,
443
gracious Speaker, I have
Capital.
1 question, gracious
444
Speaker.
Capital, that the sum stated for these 3 heads now stand part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. At the end of day 1, the savings, according to my calculation, is 27 minutes. Let the assembly resume. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and your staff for taking us through your agents.